A father finds his daughter in his abuser's truck. He stops it. The abuser shot dead. The only camera that recorded the truth, well, police claim that they lost the SD card. Defense says it was no accident. This is Defense Diaries. Let's go. Hello and welcome to Defense Diaries. I'm your host, Bob Mata, and as always, I'm joined by my beautiful and brilliant co-host, Allie. What's up, girl?
Hey, babe. Hey, y'all.
So yeah, I flubbed the opening. I hate when I have a flub on the cold open.
You know, what are you going to do?
Kills me.
I still love you.
Kills me. Thanks, babe. You're the best. You're the best. All right, so quick story before we jump in. Allie and I are killing ourselves for this fundraiser we got going on tomorrow. We're super excited about it. Again, that starts at 10 in the morning. It's going to go till 10 at night. Got a ton of great guests lined up. Central time. Thank you. And we, it takes a lot to put that together. It's not just getting the guests, but then coordinating everything. Like an idiot, I did it on Memorial Day weekend. I didn't realize it. I'm like, wait, I have no softball games this weekend? Perfect. And then after I said that we were doing it, somebody's like, yo, it's Memorial Day. I'm like, yo, I did not know that.
So we're sitting in the room. We're both working diligently on our respective computers. And a text pops up and I'm like, hey, babe.
You're skipping way ahead.
Oh, dude. I'm skipping way ahead?
Sorry. Why are you trying to rush the story, girl?
Okay.
Plus, you didn't, you're telling the part of the story that didn't apply to you because you didn't see it. I told you about it. It happened.
I told you.
What?
Well, get to that part of the story. I said, we just got a text that said.
What? Yeah. So I'm sitting there at 6:47, one of my best friends in the world who had invited us to go see Spam-A-Lot like a month and a half ago. And as recently as I think maybe Monday, they were talking about, where are we going to go eat before the show? It was in the city. Big night. I had said Allie and I would love to go. It's based on the Monty Python Meaning of Life, I think it is. It's one of the
probably
Python.
Hysterical.
It would have been amazing. So at any rate, we're working our butts off on this fundraiser. And at 6:47, this text comes in. And then also this brief drop today. So I run and I set the live for tonight. I don't even realize it's Friday, to be honest with you. And I definitely don't realize it's the 22nd. So it's my buddy. He's like, hey, you guys close?
What's your ETA?
Yeah, what's your ETA? And I'm like, oh my God. And I see it's from my buddy. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, babe, that play was tonight. She's like, what play? I'm like, the thing that we were supposed to go to with Wally. And she's like, oh my God. So I start pacing immediately.
Turns on the shower. I'm like, what time did it start? And I was like, wait, didn't we have dinner first? Aren't we just late for the dinner part? And Bob's like, no, I told him we're going to probably miss dinner.
At 7 our time. So it was going to start in 13 minutes and we're 45 minutes out of the city.
I mean, that's on a
both unshowered.
Okay, so at least 45 minutes on the city on a Friday night? No, yeah, we're 2 hours from the city on a Friday night.
2 hours. So I'm like, what do we do? Allie's like, you got to call him. I'm like, I got to call him. So I call. I felt so bad. It was terrible. It was awful. And I really wanted to see my friend. I just never get to see him.
Our friend, thank you.
Yeah, our friend for sure.
I wanted to see him too.
Yeah, so that was whatever, an hour and 15 minutes ago. So point being, we've been working very, very hard on tomorrow's fundraiser. So I hope you all will attend. I hope you all will help promote it, retweet the tweets, let people know it's for a great, great cause. we're obviously going to be talking about it tonight as we have this this brief. And when I talked to Heather, essentially Aaron and Michael, who are Aaron's attorneys, had the opportunity to either take this thing to hearing in front of the new judge, or they could prepare a brief. And Aaron elected to prepare a brief, which I think is smart.
Well, it was the fact that they already had the hearing, so she could go to a new hearing, recall witnesses, do whatever, or cite to the transcript. And if there was anything that I wished I had gotten that I didn't, I would have went to hearing. If I thought I had everything and did not want to give the witnesses a chance to weasel their way out of something I already got, I'm going based on the pleadings. But before we start to read it, can we give like people who don't know as much about the story a little more background? What I have here, I had pulled.
Yeah, no, I think the first paragraph of the brief does a pretty good job, like
All right,
kind of giving an overview, a 30,000-foot view of like what went down and when it went down. So I think that if you're not super familiar with Aaron Spencer's case, that will. And babe, if you don't think that suffices, then we'll beef it up a little bit.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So again, reminder, tomorrow, 10 a.m., 10 p.m. We have an amazing slate of guests. Hold on. I'm gonna throw this up in case you haven't seen it. Because there's a lot of people that aren't on X.
Here, no, I'm gonna put up the
Facebook.
mine because it has the time slots.
Times?
Yeah.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
What's taking so long?
Well, share screen.
What's going on? What's really happening? Okay. What's going on? Oh, there it is. You gotta blow it up, babes. It's way small.
Is it getting bigger?
No, it's not. You like the gray thing is getting bigger, but
it's getting bigger.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so here's the lineup. And like Allie, I think she put on the graphic. The times are fluid.
Schedule is fluid. Times are estimate. Tune in for surprises.
Right. So, people might be dropping in. People might be dipping. Like Bob Ruff, he's 50-50 because sadly they have to put their dog down tomorrow. So, which he didn't know at the time. And obviously as a dog lover, as many of us are, that's completely understandable. He doesn't know how he'll be feeling. I don't know how I'd be feeling. I think I'd be pretty destroyed. I don't know if we had to putting a nook down. So that's super sad. But at any rate, the way that here started at the 10, I'm going to read through them real quick. So first hour, it's going to be Brandy Churchwell of 13th Juror Podcast, which is phenomenal. If you don't remember, Brandy kind of came up during Murdoch. Like she was putting these charts together, like these amazing charts. And like she really kind of gained a lot of traction from her charts. And she's gone on to do some amazing things. And her 13th Juror Podcast is phenomenal. So she's going to be paired up with my buddy Tony Bruschi, as well as Robin Dreek, who's phenomenal, former Fed. Both great guys. That'll be a great first hour. Then followed up by Michael Bryant of Justice Served. Linda, unfortunately, is traveling, or fortunately for Linda, because of Memorial Day weekend, so she can't make it, but Michael was kind enough to join us. And the beautiful and talented Melanie Little, who we love so very much over here, will be joining Michael, so that'll be a great hour. And Melanie has a lot of shit going on this weekend. She got family coming in. There's graduate. It's like everything that's going on Memorial Day weekend. You got graduations, weddings, the weekend in and of itself. People try. So a lot of movies.
Not there hour 2. She'll pop in at some point.
If she dips on us, she'll pop in at some point. Hour 3, Mel Barrett and Rebecca. We love them from Something's Off. And Rebecca, I first met from Crime Writers On. So she's been doing that for a long time on NPR. And I was trying to get her to review Buried forever. And I couldn't. I'm going to still keep poking her about that. I'm like, yo, why don't you Oh, Tracy's coming back. Are we in trouble? I feel like we're in trouble. Anytime mom comes back, I feel like we're in deep shit. And then obviously they'll be joined by the one and only Broken Baker. So hour 4, the one and only David Yannetti. We gave him his own hour because I'm just selfish. Oh yeah. And then hour 5, the wonderful Mark Betterow, Sean Martin from.
Wait, Mark could have had his own hour as well, but we don't have all the slots.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Sean and Mark talk over one another. It'll be great. It'll be great. Those guys are a couple of talkers, much like myself. So that'll be a great hour. Sean has the Potentially Criminal channel. Both very bright guys, both very, very smart attorneys. And then we've got hour 6, which has the great Nick Starrow. It's got one of my favorite humans of all time, Cat Not Williams, and Janet.
Isn't Nick an attorney?
He is.
I don't know how I let that get past me saying special guest.
Because you're a terrible person. You just don't care.
I mean, he's special though. So
he is special. He is special. Nick's like, he's like, I can come back because he's got his wheel that he does. It's like I forget what he calls it, but it's like a wheel of torture. He spins it and he has to do something, which I guess is terrible, even though it's usually like doing shots. So I'll do a shot of an alcohol.
Definitely do his wheel of torture on hour 6.
So right, he said he could come back later,
but he's got it. Oh, later in the evening.
Wheel of Regrets. Thank you. That's exactly what it's called.
Wheel of Regrets.
Wheel of Regrets. Okay, and then hour 7, Aaron's wife Heather is going to join us. We're super excited about that. And we're grateful that she's going to come spend some time with us. Now, just to forewarn, we're not going to be talking anything about the case because Heather's going to have to testify, and we have to be super, super careful about that. So we're just going to talk about general things. We're going to talk about a lot of the work that they've been doing, and I'm talking about the Spencer family down in Lonoke since Aaron decided to run for sheriff. I mean, the Spencer family has been going to war with Lonoke County, trying to get the old guard, corrupt guard that is, out of power and try to get things right down there.
Allegedly.
The community, no, there's no allegedly
I'm
about
just saying, allegedly.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
the allegedly corrupt,
it seems like there's some proven shit is the way it goes. Phil, I'm so happy you're here, Phil. Phil, I need you. This is what I need, Phil. Can you put together a bingo for tomorrow's live with how many squares are there? Are there 25 squares in a bingo card? BINGO. I think there's 25 squares, right? Is that right?
Sounds right. If there's 5 per letter. Yeah.
5, 20 or 25. With just like random phrases that you think that will be said, or could you teach me how to do it? Because I think it would be cool for people to get bingo cards, and if they're gonna,
I think we just create a grid and put some words on it.
No, it doesn't work like that. The way Phil does it is like he uses a site, I think, and then when people like when they all register to get a card.
I never registered to get a card.
Yeah, like he does trial bingo all the time. It's awesome. And I think it automatically dobs it for you. Like if your word comes up. But I don't know if I have to put it in. But it's a cool way, interactive way for people that are going to be long hauling it with us, that can play along. And we'll have a great prize. Because we found out we can't do the wheel. It's like illegal gambling or some shit on YouTube. It's like against the community guidelines. So we can't do like the wheel where we say, well, we
can if we take a certain
complicated. Doesn't it? You made it sound like very complicated. I'm like what?
No, like if people can either it's something like all the supers are in it, and then a random amount of the people who just type the word blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to make it also free to enter.
Yeah. 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 So I don't know. Oh, and by the way, I do have a goal going for tonight. And essentially, if we meet the goal, I'm going to take suggestions from you guys, but you're going to have to do it over on our community page. I'm going to make a little post for like, if you could think of a fun activity like the bingo, or somebody had suggested that we have like a half an hour where we have a call in line where people call and ask questions. I thought that would be fun, but we're open to any suggestions. It's 12 hours. I was thinking, and I felt like it was too late to do an auction because I know Ian always has a lot of success with the auctions. I'm sure I could have gotten our guests to donate something, signed books, Yannetti give another tie, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if it's too late. That's what Dave did on Ian's thing.
I mean,
One of his trial
giving out
ties.
giving out ties, crazy.
Giving out ties.
They're probably not cheap.
So yeah, if we hit that goal, I'll make some kind of.
Or you're not through the list.
I know. I'm working on it. All right. So so after Heather Spencer and True Crime Mama, who's got a great TikTok channel, and Heather's like, folks love her.
Goal is not working. Thank you, Tracy.
What poll?
Goal.
Oh, it's not working.
So I'll read it. We have the Judge Carol Erskine, retired judge.
Like, there's nothing for me to do.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not working. All right, but you keep going.
No. I would much prefer you do it. I thought you had to go like look at something.
Like there's nothing I could do.
Oh.
I don't know how to fix that.
Oh.
Kidding me?
Okay.
How would I know how to fix that? I don't barely know how to operate.
I thought maybe you like didn't do it right.
No, I don't think so. So yeah, Judge Carol, who, if you've ever been with us when she's on, is just beyond. She's fabulous. She's so wonderful, and she's such a huge child's advocate. And so she's going to talk about not Aaron and Heather's case specifically, but she's going to talk about the impact that these kind of cases have on the children, because she sat on the bench over a lot of these types of cases for an awfully long time. And which is why she's such a fierce advocate in her retirement, a children's advocate. So she's just amazing. And I think she wanted to dabble in Youngblood a bit, talking about the case we'll be talking about tonight, which is going to be a big deal when it comes to this judge deciding whether or not to dismiss the case. As you can imagine,
I was so confused. I thought there was like a case, a new case with someone named Youngblood.
No.
I'm like, oh, you mean the Supreme Court case?
No.
Okay.
No.
You mean the long-standing precedent?
No. Oh, no. All right. So after the judge, Cheryl Mack McCullum of Zone 7 podcast, Lauren Katie, one of our favorites. She's a PI. You guys know her, you love her. I think I first met Lauren on Core TV. So she's great, just super sweet. She's heavily covering and supporting Kelsey Fitzsimmons. So that's where you might know Lauren from if you don't know her. She's fabulous. And then Mike King, who I love. Mike is just like the sweetest old dude who's just kind as kind can be, and he's done amazing shit. We had him on when he came on to promote his new podcast about that Garden of Evil. I can't remember what the name of that particular cult was, but Mike was the one who like infiltrated and blew it up. So Mike's done some really, really cool shit. So that'll be a cool kind of like evidence collection, like talk about the SD card vanishing in thin air. That'll be a good hour to bring up that kind of stuff where we'll kind of delve.
I'm going to mark that on the calendar for myself.
That's a good one. And then hour 10, our lovable Andy Baldwin's coming. He's going to come hang with us. One of Rick Allen's attorneys, just a great guy. And it's like I have so much love for Andy, and Andy's like, he'll be the first to tell you, like, if the shit that he missed in Rick's case, he just, it's like, he has never stopped advocating for Rick. He's always thinking about that guy. I love Andy Baldwin. He's gonna be a great guest. And then the only Sunny Slaughter. If you don't know Sunny Slaughter, you're gonna love Sunny Slaughter. She's just amazing. She's a legal analyst. She's on Court TV all the time. She's just like a true blue, real one. She just is. Like her and I are homies. She's awesome. So I was really glad that I haven't had her on for a long time. So I was really glad to wrangle her. And then Scoop Conlon, who, again, just love Lauren. She's awesome. To me, she's the best like pop culture reporter on the scene, bar none. And it's her. She's like LA Magazine scooped her up because they're smart. But make no bones about it, Lauren does all her shit on her own. Like, she's awesome. Like, anything that's New York where we don't get to watch the trials, Lauren's there. Like, especially if it's in, like, Manhattan. Like, she is in the courtroom taking furious notes, coming out, wind blowing her hair all over the place. I love Lauren so much. So that'll be a great hour as well. And then we're going to have Emily C. and Jimmy Auntie Deb come on for our comedy hour. There were so many people that were whining during Aiden Carney's tribute or his fundraiser that when Allie and I went on with Emily C. and Jimmy, they're like, let Jimmy talk. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, shut up. So I'm like, Jimmy, you're going to talk the whole time. Like, I'm not going to even say anything. You're going to talk the entire time. So that'll be great. And, Emily's just hilarious and really, really smart. Like, if you don't know, like, they're both really, really bright people. And they're both really, really funny in very different ways. In very, very different ways. Emily C. has a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor that, like, if you're not paying attention, it creeps up on you and slaps you in the face type shit. Like, she's just really, really funny. And it, like, she's like, her and Jimmy came up in Karen Reed, that was their kind of their baby there. So that'll be a great fun hour. And then we're going to end it with Runkle of the Bailey, who we love.
Well, I wanted you to see that comment. There's someone else there. Oh yeah, Kristen K.
Kristen's amazing. She reports on all kinds of stuff. She's very active on Twitter. She's got a YouTube. She's starting doing that. And she works with lawyers. She's like she helps with trial prep, does all that kind of stuff. She's awesome. You guys are going to really dig her. And she's been knee deep in following Aaron's case. So she was an excellent fit for this. But, obviously we're excited to have Ian on, and he's going to be a house guest of ours next week. So we're excited about that. I'm going to be bringing him to all the places. Like, I was excited. He's like, hey, he hit me up. He's like, I might have to stay for like 2 weeks. I'm like, all right. And then I realized that you were leaving on the 6th, and I had hit him up. And I'm like, oh, like, Allie's leaving on the 6th, and I've got this thing that I'm doing in the city, or this show that, that live show that I keep promoting with all the people from the Netflix things. I got to go do that because I made a commitment to do it. And Runkle's like, oh no. He's like, yeah, I think I'm leaving on the 30th. So he's going to be here for like 3 days, but I've got to get him to either Unos or Pequods. And since you've never had Pequods, I'm thinking we do Pequods. Also on the 30th, Runkle has a meetup going that we're joining in on. So it's really a dual meetup. And that's at the Green Door Tavern. If you're in Chicago, close to Chicago, come on down. That's going to start at 6 and go to whenever. I don't know if Allie's going to come. I feel like she's not going to come.
I've got to do stuff with the kids, get prepared for the baby's second birthday party. Oh, yeah. But you've been talking a lot, so let's get to it.
Get to what?
Aren't we reading a brief?
Oh, yeah. Just kidding. All right, I'll pull it up. All right, so that's tomorrow, starting at 10. All right, let's see. Pull yours down, babe.
Oh.
I'm gonna put this puppy up. Yeah, we're gonna have to blaze through this. We got a good night's sleep. That ain't no joke. 12 hours is no joke on a live stream. I always think about Ian doing 24 hours is like,
That's what he did?
yeah.
What did he have? Like coffee or cocaine?
I don't know. Like
My coffee's cocaining.
I think that's the wrong law tuber. I don't know. I don't know. Probably.
I'm kidding. I am not suggesting Ian
obviously.
Yeah, but I'm just in case someone out there is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Allie suggested Ian would do cocaine. I'm just trying to figure out how someone gets through 24 hours.
I mean, I've seen you do it.
Yes.
Many a time. All right. So
like
this
my
is
espresso.
so this dropped yesterday, like at the close of business, basically. And it didn't really hit the docket until close to like 4:30 today. So I knew it was filed, but we weren't able to get our hands on it. And then, of course, the one and only Tracy, Seeking Justice Discord, got this in my hands, my grubby little hands. And, like I tell you guys all the time, the greatest document repository of them all is the Seeking Justice Discord channel.
Does it not let you make that bigger? Like, why is it so tiny on the screen?
Yeah, Runkle's just a beautiful human being. He's amazing in many, many ways. So yeah, please drop that over to the chat there about Seeking Justice. It's where you get all your docs. If you're a doc person, there you go.
Babe, why is it? Can you pull it up? Like, why is it usually takes the whole page? Why isn't it?
What do you mean? It doesn't usually take the whole page. I can make it smaller.
It doesn't? No, I don't want you to make it smaller.
Like that?
No, I mean like the top of the screen, there's nothing at.
Huh?
Never mind.
Huh? What? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking about like this shit up here?
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, the space between
if
at the top of the screen.
I don't know. Oh, there. Is that better?
No, it's fine. Maybe it's always like this.
It's always like this for me. Are you saying I can get rid of the tabs?
No, I'm talking about the inch between the top of the whatever that frame.
Oh,
the
no,
StreamYard
it's not
frame.
like that. We always just have our shit up.
Oh,
You're confused.
I am confused.
Yeah, we always have this up, so you think that it's there, and it's. I mean, we can make that bigger, I think, but now's not the time, baby.
Okay,
now's not the time. I'm going to take that off because I love due process blocks it. All right. Okay, so I'll read first. You read second. Yes.
Yes.
Or do you want to read first? I'll read second.
No, you read first. I'm still trying to figure out why it looks so weird to me. All right.
Maybe it was that big weed hit you took off your vape there before. Oh, dude. Like, yeah. No shit, Sherlock. That should be like the center. Bob, well, we call it tech wizardry, Phil. That's what we call it over here. Okay, so brief in support of defendant's motion to dismiss for due process violation or alternatively for spoliation instruction. So the defendant, Aaron Spencer, by and through his attorneys, Aaron and Michael, submits this brief in support of the defendant's motion to dismiss for due process violation or alternatively for spoliation instruction. This case arose. So if you don't know anything about the case, this is your opportunity to learn a little bit about it. This case arose after the decedent, Michael Fosler, despite related charges and no contact order, transported Spencer's minor daughter to engage in continued criminal SAs against her. The same prosecutor, the same prosecutor's office trying Spencer for murder charged Fosler with various crimes in July of 2024, exposing him to life sentences. Yet he was released on a meager $50,000 bond with a no contact order as to minors. And as an aside, he only had to post 10% of that. Okay, it's the same thing in Illinois. It's 10% to apply. He only had to post $5,000 to walk out. 43 counts. All right, so undeterred, Fosler continued to SA the minor victim. And on October 8th of 2024, he picked her up from her house in the middle of the night to do so.
Wait a minute. Is this the first time we're hearing that?
What?
That while he was out on bond, not only did he contact her, but he continued to SA her?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought I was going over I was going over some other pleadings and I saw
unless
that.
they're referring to that particular incident. You know what I'm saying? Like that night. I don't know. But
Undeterred, he continued to. Wow.
you know when we're going to find out if this goes to trial, if it's not dismissed, which we're hoping that it is, we'll find out at trial because sadly, the child victim is going to have to testify on behalf of her father because they lost the SD card, which is the point of this thing. So, okay. He picked him up from her house in the middle of the night to do so. So while searching for her, Spencer found her in Fosler's truck, and Fosler fled with her. Spencer disabled the truck, and after a threatening confrontation, Spencer shot Fosler. And that comes from the affidavit for warrant, which has a footy that this document should be filed in a public document, but does not appear to have been so filed. We've never seen it. Never seen it.
Wait. What is the footnote to? What is it we haven't seen?
The arrest warrant.
Oh, yeah.
David for arrest warrant. I'd really like to see that. So the state has charged Spencer with second-degree murder, and Spencer has raised various justification defenses. So Spencer incorporates herein, as if stated word for word, all exhibits admitted at the December 18th, 2025 hearing, and all exhibits attached to his April 20th, 2026 motion to reconsider ruling limiting 404A2 evidence, to enter order setting aside prior order as to expert witnesses, and to enter order granting relief for the state's destruction of evidence. Okay.
So before we get to the motion to the rest of the body, I just want to ask, well, I've got a short, I mean, do you think people need more of a
primer?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think y'all should just watch tomorrow. We'll be telling the story a lot tomorrow.
Okay. Good idea, babe.
Thanks, honey. Appreciate that. So this motion concerns the destruction or loss of the single most important piece of objective, contemporaneous, non-testimonial, and direct evidence in this prosecution. The dash camera recovered from inside the decedent's truck. No comparable evidence exists to replace the lost audio and visual recordings, which uniquely bore on the disputed issues of justification, aggression, escalation, and reasonable fear. Unlike witness collections shaped by stress, hindsight, or self-interest, the missing footage would have provided the only neutral and contemporaneous account of the events immediately preceding the shooting. Because the evidence was uniquely capable of objectively resolving in Spencer's favor the core disputes in this homicide prosecution, a meaningful remedy for this conduct is necessary. Even under the narrowest application of Trombetta and Youngblood, the law enforcement conduct in this case compels the conclusion that dismissal or, at a minimum, evidentiary sanctions is warranted. This case presents far more than negligence, inadvertence, or bureaucratic error. It presents a pattern of intentional and inexplicable law enforcement conduct surrounding the discovery, handling, review, concealment, and ultimate loss of critical evidence, the cumulative force of which compels a finding of bad faith. just as circumstantial evidence generally is not evaluated as isolated links in a chain, but as strands woven into a cable whose persuasive strength derives from the interrelationship of the facts themselves and whose combined force exceeds the impact of the individual acts, the actions of law enforcement must be viewed in totality.
Okay.
So
And
it's a well-crafted sentence there.
yes, it is. So, I think that the body's going to flesh this out more. So we'll keep reading. And if Bob and I feel we need to explain, or if you guys ask any questions, we'll get to them. So, one, the exculpatory value of the dash cam was immediately apparent. And, obviously that's one of the factors that have to be established in order to find the bad faith. And I don't think there's any question with that here, but we'll read. The state violates a defendant's due process rights when it destroys or loses evidence whose exculpatory value is apparent before destruction, and the defendant is unable to obtain comparable evidence by any other reasonable means. And they cite to an Arkansas case. Now, to just give a little example here, we had the same issue in the Karen Reed trial when we talk about the carport video. Carport, yeah.
Sally.
The Sallyport video. And, the judge is like, well, how do we know it's exculpatory because we don't know what was on it? And that's the same kind of thing they could say here, that you don't know. You're saying it's exculpatory because it would have shown him defending himself, but we don't know what it would show because we don't have it. So, but the potential exculpatory nature of it, the importance of it, the significance of it was immediately apparent. And I think that they had that same argument for another piece of evidence I can't think of right now, but we've seen it. We've seen how it gets played before. Sorry, there's the bottom part of that sentence, Bay.
Oh, sorry, baby.
Given the difficulty of demonstrating the precise content of evidence that no longer exists, or, quote, what the destroyed evidence is, the focus is not on proving what is missing, but on the apparent value of it prior to destruction and how it would have been valuable to the defense. Citing to that same Arkansas case for the proposition that explaining that the burden is to prove it was material and had an exculpatory value apparent before its destruction. For instance, showing how the evidence would have shown the defendant did not do as alleged. They cite to an Eighth Circuit case, which says, despite the substance of I can't speak. Despite that substance of recording was unclear, state's conduct in concealing its existence demonstrated its significance to the defense. That one I'd like to know more about. But so paragraph A. Officers had information that made the exculpatory value of the dash camera apparent. McLean and other officers were aware of the unique circumstances that led to the shooting on October 8th, 2024, both before they arrived on scene and certainly when McCain manipulated the evidence, resulting in its loss later that same day. By the time they arrived on scene, Lonoke County Sheriff's Office officers knew they were responding to the shooting of a man with pending criminal SA-related charges by the father of the minor victim after he discovered the child in her abuser's truck in the middle of the night. Heather, what? Malachi? Wow. All right, I'm done. You go.
What?
I can't even read. All right, Heather, Malachi, and Aaron Spencer had each called 911 that morning and advised of this scenario. Oh, okay. Sorry, that's the site. Seriously.
Your face, you're like, oh.
I can't even see what you're making the face about me because have this thing blown up so big to read it.
It's huge. Huge.
Okay. In the first call, Heather Spencer told dispatch about Fosler's pending case, that he was messaging and brainwashed her, and Heather was afraid he was going to kill her. It's in the message. They're afraid he's going to kill her. Malachi Spencer, the Spencer's son, told dispatch his sister was missing and he had no doubt Fosler was involved because he previously kidnapped and AR'd her.
Mm.
Finally, Spencer's 911 call following this shooting was clear. A man tried to kidnap my daughter. I just had to kill him. Even if he had not heard the 911 calls himself, discussions at the scene made clear that McCain and other officers knew the circumstances before the camera was removed from Fosler's vehicle. And they have citing to body cam and other evidence, dispatch detail. It was also clear that evidence affirming the Spencer's account would clearly be exculpatory. Sorry, our daughter's messaging now. Neither can the state suggest it was unclear whether exculpatory footage was captured. Body camera footage shows deputies and detectives, including McCraney and McCain, looking at the inside and outside of Fosler's truck with the dash camera and its illuminated screen visible. Again, citing to various body cameras. Inexplicably, neither of them preserved or secured it for hours. It's apparent that the camera was recording when Spencer chased and later justifiably shot Fosler and captured relevant data from those events. The dash camera was mounted on Fosler's truck windshield with its main camera facing out the windshield and the second camera facing inside the truck towards the rear. When an SD card is inserted, as it was here, the camera automatically turns on and records when plugged in. Thus, when the screen is on, the dash camera is recording and displays the camera views on screen. Given its placement, the dash camera captured visual and/or audio footage of the driver and passenger and visual footage out the rear and front windshields. Why is there no sight to that? I thought I turned my notifications off and I just can't. All right,
man, listen. Don't worry about here. You want me to read? You want
yes.
You want to tag out?
Yes.
Where were you?
Detective McCain, I'll just read their last. Detective McCain confirmed the dash camera was powered on when he collected it, and the body camera footage from the scene shows an illuminated screen. He could reasonably infer that it had been running earlier that morning, knew it likely had sound, and knew it had multiple cameras. So what's interesting is I can't tell from these sites because she's saying he could reasonably infer. So, but not that he did reasonably infer,
Yeah.
So knowing all of this, along with knowledge of events immediately preceding officers' arrival at the scene, it was apparent the dash camera captured exculpatory footage, and McCain and other officers would have immediately realized this significance.
I mean, unless you're a fucking moron. I mean, if you're a cop and you see that there's a dashboard cam on the truck that's clearly plugged in, like we saw from the last motion, the light, there's some light that indicates that it's running. I mean, what judge on the face of the earth is not going to think even a Barney Fife type cop wouldn't realize, gee, that camera probably caught the whole thing. It's probably all on that camera. We need to look at that camera. I mean, what? Come on, dude. Like that part of it is important to argue because it's so obvious.
Right. Indeed, he acted on this significance. He treated it differently than he did other evidence, delaying collecting it, then keeping it in his office. And
oh, sorry.
Handing it personally rather than following evidentiary protocol to ensure its safety, and ultimately, quote, losing it without any explanation for its loss. Other
I don't know.
circumstances.
I don't know where it went. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Went
Yeah,
from this dude to an intermediary to the AG's office, and it vanished like a fart in the wind with no explanation. This
right.
aggression will not stand.
I still think the difficulty is going to be the judge would need to find that the officer is lying, that he
Right,
viewed it and he's lying about what
right,
was on it.
right.
Other circumstances also indicate the apparent exculpatory value, efforts to disclaim responsibility and conceal its existence from Spencer. That is sus as hell, because and they'll get into it, I'm
Well,
sure
you don't
here.
think it's sus that there's a bunch of cops at the scene who all know that there's a dashboard cam on the victim, and I'm using air quotes, on his dashboard, and none of them realize that that thing recorded everything that went down?
I doubt that this element of it is really being argued except for whether or not it was exculpatory.
Yeah, but you have to look at the logic of it to reach the conclusion. You're never
But
gonna
if it caught
find.
him just, per the state, cold-blooded unaliving him, then that's not exculpatory. Like, oh, that Sally Port video is not exculpatory because they didn't actually, you know,
Yeah, no,
break
I get that, but
break the
the fact
rear
that it
thing.
disappeared tells me that what was on that video was the opposite of what you're saying.
Agreed.
That's the point.
Agreed.
And so again, back to what I'm saying, you've got to be able to I mean, there's never going to be a smoking gun thing with this type of thing because we don't have access to the sheriff's department. We don't have access to their internal workings and their emails and it's like we're not getting like a Proctor type FBI investigation here, even though we should, where we're getting all
Absolutely.
their text messages. Oh yeah, man, that SD card, man, I mean, who knows? But for an SD card to vanish into thin air with no explanation,
Poof.
I'm sorry. Like that. This isn't like, oh, it was written over because the system automatically does it type bullshit where you can
Which
be
is
like, all
also
right,
such
well, how can I
bullshit.
prove that? Like this is like a physical piece of evidence that vanished into thin air that this guy claims that he clicked back in to the dashboard cam. That somehow, when there's only two people that had
Touch it.
any kind of access to that particular piece of evidence before it's hand delivered to the AG's office, had access to it.
Right.
I bet you
So
Aaron Spencer won't lose any SD cards when he's sheriff.
doubtful. Very doubtful. Any SD cards come in here, you
Yeah.
tape them to the envelope. Okay. So
Hello?
I'll start the sentence again. Other
Okay.
circumstances also indicate the apparent exculpatory value. Efforts to disclaim responsibility and conceal its existence from Spencer. Deputy McCraney, who arrived first on scene, immediately recognized the dash camera's significance. He was inspecting Fosler's truck and looking for evidence that needed to be secured. I wish there were more actual quotes from the transcripts. But these might be. Oh yeah, these are still the dashboard cams. I mean, body cams. I think no, 263 to 264. Huh. But 12.2025. No, that's also not. All right. Moving on. McCain arrived at the scene at about 2:23 a.m. At 2:23 a.m. McCraney informed the detective, McCain, about the dashboard camera before 4 a.m. McCain, on the other hand, testified McCraney did not inform him about the dash camera until 5:35 a.m. And I think that McCraney testified, or McCain, no, McCraney testified he was long gone by then. if I remember correctly. McCain ensured there would be no confirmation of his handling of the dash camera. Within minutes of his arrival on scene, McCain inspected the inside of Fosler's truck through the windows with a flashlight where the illuminated dash camera is apparent. A few minutes later, he began photographing Fosler's truck and instructed deputies to turn off their body cameras, another violation of LC, Lonoke County Sheriff's Office,
Why are they doing that?
SO's policy. I think they said something like, I could be confusing it with a different case. I can't remember what the reason was. Despite the obvious illuminated dash cam, and contrary to McCraney's testimony, McCain testified he was unaware of the dash camera during the entire time he investigated the scene, only learning of it as tow trucks arrived hours later. His testimony about being unaware of it, despite looking directly at it several times, is so incredible it cannot be believed. Further, his direction to stop body cam recordings ensured there is no footage of anyone handling the dash cam or explanation for his having missed this obviously critical evidence for Spencer's defense. Despite being told about it and looking for it, he left it until the last possible second before leaving. McCain learned even more about the substantial significance the recording would hold to the defense after his interview that morning, before he says he viewed the SD card. After leaving the scene, McCain interviewed Spencer, who provided details about everything from Fosler's criminal case to details about the events that morning leading to and including the shooting. McCain also had information that the minor told a deputy she was hurting from being SA'd that night.
Oh.
That night.
Oh.
The minor told a deputy she was hurting from being SA'd that night. So yes, when the defense wrote he was undeterred and continued assaulting her, he continued doing it.
He was a monster.
Oh my God.
This dude was an absolute monster.
It's just
a 67-year-old, whatever, 66, just an absolute monster.
What a complete and total waste of the taxpayers' money. The county should hold a fundraiser for repaying the taxpayers the money they're about to waste on this trial. No one in the community wants him charged. No civilized human thinks he should be charged. And they're trying to paint like it is so disgusting what they're doing. It is just downright disgusting. I can't even for the life of me understand it, except they're all a bunch of perverts. And there are some, allegedly, possibly, it is just my opinion, some like very high connected people involved in this kind of activity in this community. Why are they intentionally like destroying evidence that would help prove a father was merely rescuing his daughter? Why?
I don't know. I mean, you can speculate.
I'm doing it. I just did it.
Yeah.
Did some serious speculation.
Yep. I mean,
how disgusting. McCain also had sorry, what'd you say?
It stinks.
Yeah. McCain also had information that the minor told a deputy she was hurting from being SA'd that night. Disgusting. McCain also knew from the minor's interview that Fosler was looking for a weapon before he exited the truck and had a, quote, camera to see the back of his truck to make sure nobody, like my dad. I think they forgot to finish that sentence. Like was coming. Because he was scared of my dad. And that's an excerpt. How many pages is this? 15?
I don't know, but you need to speed it up.
I was just gonna say, because I think there was a 15-page limit, so maybe that's why. Um, she also explained being assaulted that night at his house. Heather Spencer describes seeing the chase and believing Fosler was going to kill her daughter. And Malachi reiterated those things and relayed the minor's description of what Fosler did with her that night/morning. Obviously, the minor's explanation of the camera's purpose confirmed it was operating that morning and that the second camera faced the rear. McCain understood how cameras function to record the happenings in front of the lens and the sounds in proximity to the camera. And he knew the dash camera had 2 cameras, was on after the shooting, and likely recorded sound. Oh, okay, so they are citing to the transcript. Okay. From his first steps on the scene to the time he manipulated the dash cam in his office, after having failed to follow any evidentiary policy with regard to it, McCain knew plenty about the facts and circumstances that led to the shooting to know the dash camera would have captured the events earlier that morning as Fosler intended.
All right. B. There is no legitimate debate about the exculpatory value of the dash camera. The 2 lenses dash camera was positioned with the front camera facing out of the front windshield and the other camera plugged in and positioned facing the inside of the truck and towards its rear. Logically, the camera's video and or audio would have provided evidence of Fosler's custody of and route taken with Spencer's daughter, Fosler's directives to his victim in the truck, Spencer's attempt to get Fosler to stop his truck, Fosler's active flight with Spencer's daughter, Spencer's successful effort to maneuver Fosler's truck into a driveway, Fosler's aggressive exit, and Spencer's reasonable fear for his daughter and himself, among many other key moments that established Spencer's defense. The footage would show Spencer's efforts to save his child, as he described to McCain, and Fosler's efforts to escape with the child and to conceal her in the truck. The footage would evidence Fosler's efforts to find a weapon or to make it appear that he had a weapon before threatening Spencer. It would also show Fosler transporting the minor to his house prior to the shooting to assault her, and at least the sound of Fosler yelling at Spencer when he exited the vehicle. It certainly would have confirmed that Fosler was threatening. There cannot be any serious debate that the footage would have supported Spencer's defense if it had been properly preserved, secured, and examined, instead of kept, quote, off paper until it disappeared. Here, the footage would completely remove any meritorious contention that Spencer committed an unlawful killing of another. The argument that it might have contained some inculpatory evidence and thus could not have been apparently exculpatory is contrary to common sense and cannot overcome the obvious and overwhelming exculpatory value. The footage definitely, to a certainty, contained exculpatory evidence. Whether or not there were also portions that might be considered inculpatory to the state under the convoluted theory that it seems to be embracing, that's 3. It remains unclear how this evidence, and this is the footy, could possibly be of inculpatory value beyond sheer speculation. The state's assertion that the child went with the 67-year-old SAer without force is not in dispute. There is no evidence indicating that Fosler acted in any manner other than aggressive when he exited the vehicle, and there is no dispute about the number of shots that Spencer fired. Where the hell was that footnote? Any reasonable investigator would have secured it immediately to ensure preservation of its contents. Any investigator would immediately realize, under the circumstances known at the time, that audio and video recording, both inside and outside of that vehicle, captured evidence of Fosler's SA of the minor on that evening, evidence of him picking her up, maintaining physical control, violating a no contact order, etc. Any investigator would also immediately realize that it would certainly show Spencer's efforts to stop Fosler fleeing with the minor and directing her physical actions in the truck, attempting to conceal her, and Fosler's conduct in confronting Spencer while the child was held in the truck. None of this is anything but exculpatory. All evidence that without doubt whatsoever supports Spencer's reasonable belief that Fosler presented the requisite danger, justifying Spencer's actions throughout this episode. The absurd suggestion that the footage would provide either no exculpatory value or only inculpatory evidence cannot overcome the common sense and logical conclusion that the footage would have provided direct and objective evidence to aid in the establishment of Spencer's defense.
So I just want to revisit what the minor told the police. Did that suggest that she saw it operating? Like she saw the camera operating when she was in the car?
I don't know.
I'm just going to look at it real quick because.
All right, well, you look at it while I'm continuing.
Okay.
And then if it's worth revisiting, we'll revisit it.
I get you.
So McCain's self-serving statements when it was discovered that he had lost the evidence also cannot overcome logic and common sense. When the defense submitted a motion asserting a due process violation in November of 2025, did McCain for the very first time create a legal document purporting to reflect what he did and what he saw on the dash cam's SD card back in October of 2024. Okay, and they're citing the state's brief in response to defendant's motion for adverse inference jury instruction and hearing on spoliation and destruction of evidence.
I looked that up. The only way it can be taken, it says that the minor told the police Fosler was looking for a weapon before he exited the truck and had a camera to see the back of his truck to make sure nobody like my dad was coming or whatever's not there. So, I mean, had a camera to see the back of the truck. To me, there's something, that's indicating that she's sitting in the car seeing that camera, functioning. Well, the question is, can they establish it was recording? And I guess we'll see. That would have had to been done with their expert.
Yeah. And I don't know how those dashboard cam work. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming, is there some kind of screen where you can see what it's recording behind you?
Well, it sounds like there's a screen you watch it on.
That's what I'm asking. Like, does it independently have a screen like on the actual device itself to where, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've got a backward facing camera and you're wanting to be able to see what the hell's going on behind you, like if somebody's going to rear end you, what have you, do you have the ability to be able to watch that as it's going? Because that would obviously answer your question.
Well, it sounds to me like that's what
yes,
the minor was saying, that he had a camera to see the back of his truck to make sure no one.
Do you know, Allie?
What?
Whether or not the dashboard, because
yes, I think that it had I think that was what they took.
No, a screen, not a camera.
Screen. They took the screen.
Okay.
That's, I think, what they were saying, that the light was on. I think that we've been talking about a screen this whole time, right?
I thought we were talking about a camera, but
no, it says Deputy McCraney's body-worn camera footage shows him looking inside Fosler's truck where the dash camera's illuminated screen was clearly seen.
I mean, that would be clear that she was obviously referring directly to that screen that she knew it was recorded.
What page are you on right now?
8.
Okay, well, on 4, and I think, I don't know if I was reading or you were, it says, thus, when the screen is on, the dash camera is recording and displays the camera views on screen.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure there's cheap versions of it that don't have screens like anything else, and there probably are versions that have the
What's
screen.
the point of not being able to see it if it's recording out the back?
Well, I think that the overall purpose of dashboard cams is to record everything that's happening, for liability, like car accidents and shit.
Right.
People obviously started realizing it had other uses. But if you're rear-ended, if you're involved in a motor vehicle accident. So, I mean, just having an SD card with what it recorded is helpful, and you just put it in
Right. No, I
if you
hear you.
watch it on.
Right, I get it. No, but here at least we have confirmation just in this brief
Yeah,
alone
yeah,
that it
for
was
sure.
on the screen.
Okay, so still the state relies on McCain's self-serving testimony that while manipulating the undocumented evidence resulting in its total loss, he viewed footage showing only events after the incident. This is irrelevant to the analysis. First, Spencer is not required to show the actual contents of the dash cam. That would be impossible now. Instead, he must show that the evidence had apparent exculpatory value before its loss or destruction. At the scene, it was apparent in the first half an hour on scene that the dash cam was operating and the cameras directed to capture the events leading to and including the shooting.
Now, can I pause you right there? I remember there was a period of time that you thought now I don't know if I can if there was like you were like, are they gonna try to argue she wasn't even in the car? You know what I mean? So how do you deny the exculpatory value of it proving that his minor child was in this man's car? I mean, I don't think you can deny the exculpatory value. I mean,
Well,
if the state's
early on, the current sheriff was running around town talking about some bullshit like the daughter wasn't even in the truck, that they tried to say some shit like Malachi brought her to the scene. Like they were trying to create some kind of like alternate universe bullshit. And like I'm trying to figure out who they're protecting.
right.
Are they protecting Fosler? Like
He's gone. What's the point?
is he ingratiated himself with that department or with people in that department to the point where
He's gone. That can't be who they're
I
protecting.
don't know, man.
Someone he was in bed with.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, so where was I? At the scene, it was apparent in the first half an hour on scene that the dash cam was operating and the cameras directed to capture the events leading to and including the shooting. McCain's post hoc attempt to remedy his misconduct after it was discovered many months later is irrelevant to whether it was objectively apparent that the dash cam contained information that would negate Spencer's criminal culpability before McCain undertook it to secret it before manipulating and resulting in its loss. Not only is it entirely unbelievable, but this very action by McCain of purportedly removing the data card and placing it in another device and then into his own computer resulted in no one ever seeing that data card again. McCain's actions in contravention of numerous policies and common sense destroyed the evidence and cannot also suffice to confirm its lack of exculpatory value. He
I
knew of the
I think that the defense should have had a forensic examination of that cop's
computer,
computer. Yeah,
100%.
because you can definitely be able to see did he access that when's the last time he accessed the app for viewing a video,
Yeah,
you know? Like
definitely.
and a lot of times when you're using some sort of third party software like that, you've got to, like cuz I remember them saying something like there were 5 files and 2 of them had 2 minutes and, but there were also files that were just like, you know, executable files. Sometimes you've got to open that first before you can view the video.
Yeah.
Either way, it would have shown what he accessed and what time and for how long.
It's crazy. So McCain's actions in contravention of numerous policies and common sense destroyed the evidence and cannot also suffice to confirm its lack of exculpatory value. He knew of the exculpatory significance of the dash camera when he, without a witness, notation, photograph, process, or attempt at preservation, manipulated the data instead of preserving it the way all other digital evidence pertaining to the events of that night was preserved through technology at the AG's office. 4. So Lonoke County Sheriff's Office transmitted the digital evidence collected in the case to the AG's office for examination on October 11th, 2024, and received responsive information from the AG's office within a week. One other item was examined twice and returned to the LCSO by mid-November. So this thing didn't make it to them for a year.
It's crazy. And then there was a really long period of time they did nothing with it. And then was like, oh, hey, you didn't give us the SD card.
What excuse exists in the world why that wouldn't have been turned over to the AG's office immediately? It's the most important potential piece of evidence in the case. It's inexplicable.
There were no rush to find any exculpatory evidence.
You're not no, it's worse than that. Everything that Michael or Aaron is arguing here is the way that it plays out. They fucking knew. I'm a fucking caveman. I don't know shit about, I could go on Google, look at some dashboard cams, see that some have screen. I had no idea. I'm sitting there in my brain thinking about just a little machine there that has a front camera and a back camera and records everything. I have to be honest, the thought of a concept that you're able to watch shit as it's happening behind you or in the cab, wherever you decide to have the camera pointed.
Yeah, because I think it was also pointed inside the vehicle. That would be for keeping a watch on the victims, that make sure that they don't get away.
Making videos that you're going to access later because you're a sick fuck.
Right.
Okay, so to be sure, McCain's testimony, I can't remember where I was. So, do you know where I was?
It said that it wasn't handled like every other. I would say.
I'm just going to start here. So, to be sure, McCain's testimony about the contents of the SD card does not.
Oh, wait, no, because you didn't read that.
Oh, I was on a footy. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck's that footy? Where's 4? Do you see it? Oh,
there it is.
Okay, so furthermore, McCain's explanation about what he viewed on the SD card is inconsistent with the operation of the dash cam. The camera also did not default to loop function, as McCain suggested, and the SD card locks in and cannot be easily dislodged. McCain did not document his review of the footage in any way, anywhere, until December of 2025, 14 months later, only in his affidavit. To be sure, McCain's testimony about the contents of the SD card does not comport with the function of the dash cam. In fact, it is impossible given the dash cam software. So McCain would not know the contents of the SD card, even if he had looked, because he did not watch all the footage. He does not know what was in all the folders, and he did not hear audio. He testified the videos were formatted in 2 to 5 folders, with 4 video files in one folder, while the remaining folders had camera information and, quote, text documents. The videos were around 15 minutes long, and the 4th slightly shorter. Of course, If McCain was truly doing what he, quote, would normally do with cameras, he would have saved the data that he found on the SD card as evidence, and there would have been no need to transmit it to the AG's office. According to Brandon Purchase, who examined the camera, the dash camera does not default to the loop function. Instead, the default setting is for it to stop recording when the SD card, SD memory card, or SD card memory is full. If the loop function was enabled, it would only make sense that the G sensor function would be as well, so videos would be saved. As for the storage capacity to be sufficient to store data for review. So Purchase explained the dash camera records audio and video from two separate cameras simultaneously when plugged in, the main front-facing camera and the rear swivel camera. Regardless of the SD card, each camera is only capable of producing two folders, one for the main camera and one for the rear swivel camera. The camera can only record videos in 1, 2, 3, and 5-minute increments. It is not possible to create 15-minute videos, as McCain claimed. Furthermore, the dash camera is designed to ensure the SD card is secure and uses a spring so that it will noticeably pop straight up when unlocked. So, and that's citing the video of Brandon Purchase testing the dash cam. The state did not contest Purchase's testimony. I mean, like, either dude's flat out lying about what he saw, or dude didn't even look at it. Like, I don't know. Either way, he's a fucking liar. Right? You're muted. So McCain's description of the videos, he says he saw as simply not logical, possible, or true. And neither is an explanation that the SD card was in the dash camera, yet went missing. His conveniently timed but impossible explanations, revealed only after Spencer sought relief from the misconduct, have no credibility. And they cite U.S. v. Salazar. So dismissing the government's conveniently timed explanations revealed only after the defendant sought suppression of the evidence and finding it was obvious the evidence had exculpatory value because of information officers knew. So McCain's testimony cannot save the state from the obvious exculpatory nature of the dash camera recordings under the circumstances of this case. Both McCain and his actions and his deliberate inactions concealing them establish that he did, in fact, know of the exculpatory nature of the footage.
All right, paragraph C. Spencer cannot obtain evidence comparable to the dash camera footage. The state has not argued that Spencer can obtain comparable evidence, and it cannot reasonably be argued that evidence comparable to the video and audio capturing the incident could exist. There is no other way to demonstrate in real time what Spencer witnessed and experienced. Spencer cannot be compelled to testify, so his own testimony cannot satisfy this comparable evidence factor. More importantly, the footage is the only objective evidence of the encounter. Witness testimony cannot carry the credibility that comes with a jury seeing and or hearing for themselves. They're citing a district court Utah case, which is like the worst of the things you can cite. That's just like basically a federal trial court, noting objective video evidence in a DWI case undercut subjective testimony about events on video. Then they cite to a Seventh Circuit case finding objective video evidence contradicted and therefore defeated plaintiff's factual assertions in excessive force case. Payne v. Colleran, an Eastern District of Michigan case from 2025. When subjective evidence conflicts with objective video evidence, we must view the facts in light of the video evidence.
you want to keep reading?
Okay, I thought it was your turn. To
I can read.
alternatively, the dash cam was potentially exculpatory, and law enforcement acted in bad faith. So if it's overtly exculpatory, or plainly exculpatory, you don't have to hit this bad faith element. So now, when it's potentially exculpatory, you got to hit bad faith. So even if the court questions the exculpatory value of the evidence, it was without a doubt potentially useful, and bad faith in its destruction is apparent and justifies dismissal of the case, citing to the United States Supreme Court of Arizona v. Youngblood, and an Arkansas case that must apply Youngblood, Clark's from 2024. Bad faith is evident by misconduct, dishonesty, and efforts to conceal the existence of the evidence, its exculpatory value, and its destruction. Bad faith is evidenced, quote, when the police themselves, by their conduct, indicate the evidence could form the basis for exonerating the defendant. And they're, citing back to Youngblood and Clark's. Bad faith can be shown by proof of an official animus or a conscious effort to suppress exculpatory evidence, citing a federal case and other cases cited therein. Unintentional or negligent omissions with no record of misconduct or animus do not constitute bad faith, citing that Clark's case and then an Ohio case from 2018, which Ohio case is explaining bad faith, quote, imports a dishonest purpose, moral obliquity, conscious wrongdoing, breach of known duty through some ulterior motive, or ill will partaking of the nature of the fraud. It also embraces actual intent to mislead or deceive another. Efforts to conceal the existence of exculpatory information, its contents, or its destruction evidence bad faith. Failing to adhere to the rules of professional obligations likewise evidence bad faith. Citing back to that federal case, Jimerson, probably Himerson. What do you think, Dave?
Jimerson. I don't know.
I guess it depends where that name comes from.
Like
Jimerson. Right. Then okay. So anyway, explaining that actions to conceal contents or even existence of evidence, like deliberately omitting mention of evidence or omitting information from reports, can evidence bad faith. That's exactly what happened here. And they cite to United States a United States 10th Circuit case from 2015. I'm not sure which circuit is Arkansas. Can you check while I keep reading?
What do you want me to check?
What federal circuit is Arkansas? Okay. And for that case, it says investigators' actions, such as omitting information from reports and failing to adhere to professional obligations, can establish, quote, conscious efforts to suppress exculpatory evidence. Again, they cite an Ohio case from 2018 for the proposition that bad faith established by concealment of exculpatory information, including failure to submit item as evidence, denying its existence, failing to timely alert others to destruction of evidence, lying or misleading as to the circumstances. And they cite a Western District of Texas case from 2018 for the proposition that explaining the nature of the crime may make the evidentiary value obvious to the government from the start, and rapid destruction of evidence, failure to provide justification for destruction under law, failure to follow agency procedures, and knowledge of posture of defendant relative to the evidence and the allegations tend to show bad faith attempt to impede the defense. Now, most of these cases appear to be
Arkansas's 8th Circuit.
All right, persuasive as opposed to pending, because it's not in their federal circuit and it's not Arkansas. So, but still, it's hard to find some cases that are exactly on point, and they're doing what they can here. LCSO officials, and particularly McCain, blatantly violated numerous policies regarding the collection, documenting, photographing, reviewing, analyzing, and preserving evidence. And she just cites to ton of pages of the transcript. I'm not sure this is what the judge wanted, because I just want to like take a pause real quick and say that because after, in relation to this, I don't know if it's the family or whoever does their website, posted like the "We Support Aaron Spencer" page, says that destruction or missing evidence SD card. Judge Wilson gave the defense until 5/8 to choose between filing a 15-page written argument based on existing court transcripts or requesting another hearing. And I see this as 21 pages, but so maybe it is just based on, but that's like, go ahead, judge, go read the transcripts instead of them just literally quoting them. But without documenting its evidence, his actions or its characteristics at the scene of the potentially justified murder investigation, officers saw and McCain removed a dashboard camera mounted to the windshield of a truck where many other of the significant events occurred while it was still operating. Yet every officer on scene intentionally turned off their body-worn camera before anybody touched the dash camera. Unlike Lewis and Clark, those are the two cases they've cited, this was not a mere error in judgment or a misunderstanding of policies. This was blatant in order to control and suppress evidence they knew could have exonerated Spencer. Unlike Clark's, there is ample record of misconduct, not mere negligence. And this is precisely a case in which the police, quote, by their conduct, indicate the evidence could form the basis for exonerating the defendant. And that's Clark's, the Arkansas case, quoting back to Youngblood, the Supreme Court case. Deputy McCraney's body-worn camera footage shows him looking inside Fosler's truck where the dash camera's illuminated screen is seen clearly. Both McCain and McCraney testified that they saw the dash camera inside Fosler's truck, but did not document its existence in any evidence log. Like, let's not even get to like take pictures of it. They did not document the fact that it existed. That is where, go down a little bit, that is where you can call bullshit right there. But it goes on to say they didn't take any photographs of it, note its discovery, characteristics, or content in an incident report, or enter it into evidence in the case. These actions all serve to conceal the dash camera's existence, its contents, and its destruction. McCain admitted that he collected the dash camera but failed to document it, failed to log it into evidence, and failed to document his handling of it. He stored the camera in his office in violation of evidence policies for tracking and storing evidence. McCain purportedly watched portions of the footage alone in his office later the same morning without making any notation about doing so or about its supposed contents. McCain testified that he placed the SD card back in the dash camera, placed the camera in a manila envelope, and placed the envelope in his office cabinet, not in evidence. Moreover, contrary to the policy and routine practice, he did not mark the envelope to denote his accessing it and did not photograph the SD card or the dash cam itself. The dash camera then sat in McCain's office for over a month without any record of its existence. On November 14th, 2024, LCSO Sergeant Carla Lucas took the dash cam to the AG's office at McCain's request. I was going to say, what's that called? She's the scapegoat. While McCain testified, he asked the AG's office to prioritize examination of the dash camera. He claimed the AG's office did not look at it until July of 2025. Like, what in the 8 months later? Despite him, quote, checking on the progress, AG examination of other items took far less time, and the AG had no other related items at that time. That is simply incredible. The AG's office at some point reported the dash camera did not have an SD card when it arrived, although McCain did not document this communication. He doesn't even document the communication. Hey, shit, got this call that it didn't have the SD card. I'm not going to write that down anywhere.
That's bad news.
That's not good.
That's bad news.
That's exactly what I wanted. I mean, I don't know which.
I don't know how to handle this shit.
McCain's superior was not aware of the lost SD card for many months. There is still no report documenting any of these events. Defense counsel only first learned of the dash camera's existence on July 3rd, 2025, through the deputy prosecutor, who said officers had been searching for the SD card for months. And there's an email exhibit. That
have you seen that SD card from that dash cam, man? No, dude. No, I don't know, man. I sent it to the AG's office, and they said that it wasn't in there. I don't know, man.
They lost it, trying to blame me.
I mean, what the fuck? What did the AG do with it? Like,
what the hell?
Lose this shit.
The AG lost it.
Dropped it and accidentally stopped on it, and like she's trying to bring him out. Like, what the fuck?
She didn't have on her glasses and thought it was a cockroach. La cucaracha. That is certainly inconsistent with McCain's testimony that he only learned the SD card was missing in July of 2025. So I don't know how you search for something for months when you don't know about it yet.
Yeah.
When the dash camera was finally logged into evidence on October 16th, 2025, over a year after its discovery, the log was made to look as though the dash camera was sent to the AG's office on October 14th, 2024.
On the first run with everything else.
Exactly. Consistent with the other digital evidence gathered early on October 4th, 2024, when it was really held by McCain until November 14th, 2024. Entries to evidence system to be near contemporaneous with movement of evidence.
See, to me, that's the shadiest shit right there.
Yeah.
Like that gap, it's just, I think they're up against it. I really do. I think
the state or the defense?
The state. I think they,
we have to stay. We have to remember how the system works, baby.
I know how it works. I agree with you. Like I know that this is like
that's like me usually wanting to be naive.
Extreme measure. I get all that, but what I'm saying is that the climate in Arkansas politically now, and in that community politically, and there's a lot of eyes on this case outside of Lonoke County.
Yeah,
all I'm saying is that if there is to be a case where they're going to go to the most extreme remedy and dismiss the case altogether, this might be the one, because
they don't think
Aaron's got a lot of people in his corner, and I'm talking about politicians, higher up
members.
I mean, I'm saying beyond just the community of Lonoke. I'm talking about the state of Arkansas. It's ripe for this to be the case where the judge kicks it. Is all I'm saying.
Especially if he's like, why in the hell are we charging the father who rescued his daughter from a predator and potential killer?
That's the point. That's what has created the kind of the fervor around the case, and it's created a lot of support for Aaron Spencer, because every man father that I know is like, I would have done the same shit. Now, whether or not they really would have in that situation is hard to know, but everybody says that they would, because it's the right thing to do. I mean, if somebody's got your kid,
it just makes no sense,
man. Like, and I'm not a violent dude like that, but like in that moment, I'm going to be assuming that this monster's trying to kill my kid, or was on the way to killing my kid. And if I don't stop him, that he's going to. I mean, the guy clearly had no regard for the law. I mean, we know this. He's got her out at 12:30 at night.
He assaulted her.
I know.
That same evening, he took her to his house.
He got out of jail on bond and starts re-grooming her.
What I want to know is why this man had no fear. That's what there's some it does seem like we're missing something here. I do understand he was former law enforcement or had some law enforcement background but he had no fear. And even after his death, there's somebody covering shit up.
Well, I don't know if it was
Doesn't
no
track.
fear or he just didn't give a shit.
But it seems like no fear.
Well, I
on
think
the face of it.
not giving a shit and no fear can look the exact same from the outside looking in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's one of the strong possibilities is, I mean, consistent with the fact that this case should not exist in the world. He should not be getting charged for this. They should have like at least been like, you know what, we got to see if we can find some evidence on this SD card that clears him before we arrest him, because he might have just been protecting his daughter. I mean, everything says he was protecting his daughter. It just it defies logic. And if it was the judge that was pushing for this because, oh shit, I let this guy out on bail and then he got killed, instead of, oh shit, I let this guy out on bail and then he continued to assault his victim.
See, I don't know. I started to hear after the fact that it might not have been Elmore that issued the 50 grand.
Oh, wait, you're right. You're right.
Like, so, but either way, your point's well taken, because there's something else at play here. Because typically, when you have cops that are going to run up on a scene like that, or you've got a guy who's been arrested and charged with those types of crimes and that volume against that age girl, I would think would be leaning towards trying to give Aaron the benefit of the doubt instead of the other way around.
Right.
That's where I get confused on this case. That's where I'm like, all right, who's protecting who here?
Yeah.
Because it does not add up.
It doesn't add up. It just doesn't. All right. These are all things we'll dive into deeply tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was only entered into evidence. So this SD card, the dashboard, that dashboard camera's existence, it was only entered into evidence on October of 2025 because it was returned from the AG's office with the items from Fosler's residence that LCSO sent to the AG's office in July of 2025. Despite...
I'm coming, baby.
Clear and unambiguous evidence policies demanding it, he still, even at that point, did not document its return, that the SD card was missing, or his manipulation of it before the AG received it. That's because I still think this guy never watched it. He never watched it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're trying to say they watched it, so they're like, oh, nothing. I watched it. Nothing was on it. Don't worry about it.
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
People that were in that hearing have told me that McCain came off as very believable, and that there's people that think that McCain is, in fact, the patsy, not the intermediary.
So the McCain guy who says he saw it and there was nothing on it?
Because it could have easily have been McCain brings that shit back to the station and somebody above him's like, let me see that. And takes that shit back to his office, whoever that may be, peeps it. And he's like, yeah, send this off to the AG's office. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't it McCain who says he watched it and there was nothing on it?
Yes, dear. What I'm saying is that if it's a higher up that told him, hey, hand that thing off to me, that person takes it to their office, watches it, sees some shit that is not helpful to the state's case, and for whatever reason they're going after Aaron Spencer, and he disappears the SD card, brings it back to McCain. Maybe McCain doesn't even know there's an SD card. Maybe McCain.
So let's take what you just said and say it's true. Then he sure as shit wouldn't have sounded believable on when he testified, or he would have sounded believable despite lying.
How do you know?
Well, because didn't he testify he watched it and there was nothing on it?
Yeah, like, but what do you know, McCain? Like,
but all I'm saying is
stone cold lie.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So the fact that someone's saying he seemed believable.
Not connecting. I think we're saying the same things, but you're not getting what I'm saying. So
you were saying that somebody.
All I'm saying is I think McCain could have been the patsy, that somebody else above McCain could have made this happen, and they're making McCain take the fall for it. McCain gets the SD or gets the dashboard cam and may not have even known there was an SD card in there to be disappeared. And he just hands it off to Carla and she brings the shit to the AG's office. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But, I mean, ultimately they're having to tell him to lie about what he saw in the video.
Right.
I mean, but
I was just put off by the intro being people said he seemed believable because in that scenario he'd still be lying. So
I know.
All right. Even more. McCain and his wait a second. Okay. Mistakes are one thing, but behaving as though the evidence never existed for nearly a year, only then to disclose that it no longer exists, omitting documentation and protocol dozens of times in between, is deliberate. Even more, McCain and his supervisors attempted to justify McCain's manipulation of digital evidence, suggesting that it was accepted practice for McCain to examine this type of digital evidence himself. Common sense and reality indicate this attempt at a post hoc justification for McCain's actions was misleading. First, the fact that McCain sent the dash camera to the AG's office refutes any claim that it was customary for him to collect that type of evidence himself. If McCain was truly doing what he, quote, would normally do with cameras, he would have saved the data he found on the SD card as evidence, and there would have been no need for the AG's involvement. His manipulation of it without proper protocol and documentation before sending it for forensic examination would defeat the purpose of the forensic examination and interfere with the proper chain of custody. Furthermore, records obtained after the pretrial hearing show that testimony by McCain and his superiors on this point is inconsistent with their actual practices. They testified it was not uncommon for McCain to examine evidence on cameras and most comparably gamed cameras instead of relying on the AG's examination. It's not uncommon for him to examine. Okay. Oh, okay. So, right. Game hunters cameras.
Yeah, like game cams.
Right. I just didn't know if they're saying, and then in such a case, they wouldn't send it off. But McCain admitted he is unfamiliar with dash cameras and has never seized a dash camera. He acknowledged removing the SD card from the device he is not familiar with risks destroying that data. Hit the wrong button and you format the whole card. He's quoting his testimony.
Mm-hmm.
As it turns out, the LCSO does not routinely take hunting game cameras or SD cards into evidence, so McCain could not routinely view and obtain evidence from them. From 2021 through 2025, LCSO has taken no game cameras and only one SD card from a game or regular camera into evidence in the last 5 years. So this was new evidence that they've got this FOIA response. Even if McCain viewed the one SD card from a game camera on his own 2 years prior to breaking or entering investigation, that is hardly a policy or practice for doing so with an undocumented dash camera that captured an alleged homicide. So I just want to take a pause here. If this is new evidence that wasn't admitted at the first hearing on this, because don't forget, there was a hearing, the sitting judge denied the motion, and this judge is allowing them to rebring it. But if this evidence wasn't admitted at that time, meaning there was no opportunity for the prosecution to cross-examine or to presumably if the defense called them, but to cross-examine and bring out the fact that some other explanation. I don't know what it would have been. I just don't know if the judge will rely on it or not. I guess it depends exactly what it says. Even if McCain viewed the one SD card from a game camera on his own 2 years prior in a breaking or entering investigation, that is hardly a policy or practice for doing so with an undocumented dash camera that captured an alleged homicide. It certainly does make McCain's decision to secretly manipulate this evidence. Oh, was there a footnote? Not yet.
When we get to the end of it.
Okay, well, I'm reading from this.
Sorry, where?
I can't
Oh,
see it
from
now.
my doc?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You usually pull your own shit up.
Go up. Okay.
Yeah, we're not that far up, dude. All right.
Prior to okay. It certainly does make McCain's decision to secretly manipulate this evidence reasonable, excusable, or unintentional. This is another effort to mislead and conceal the truth about this evidence, its contents, and its destruction in order to prevent Spencer from having the benefit of it for his defense. Footnote 5 reads, if there is any doubt, it is dispelled by the fact that neither of McCain's superiors made any attempts whatsoever to document or remedy McCain's policy violation or otherwise document any of the events involving the dash cam, even when they learned that he viewed it and later learned that it was lost or destroyed. Neither McCain nor his supervisors made any notations in a report or other case document. That's just bizarre.
Yeah.
So return to the body. McCain testified that he saw video formats on the SD card that are simply impossible. For over a year, he consistently violated nearly every LCSO evidence policy and basic police investigation procedure, and his supervisors did nothing to correct him or ensure compliance once they were made aware. The multiple flagrant police violations, which served to conceal the existence of the camera for over 9 months and continue to serve to conceal the circumstances of the dash camera's discovery, contents, and loss, are enough to demonstrate bad faith. McCain even acknowledged knowing those policies and their purpose to protect the integrity of the evidence, yet he is unable to provide any legitimate explanation for violating nearly all of them. So you gotta use those M dashes a lot when you have a page limit. That's what I
sounds
have to use
like a patsy to me. Just does.
McCain's inability to provide any explanation for this or for the loss of this evidence, along with his false or misleading testimony about the contents of the SD card and his practice of handling this type of evidence himself, support bad faith. So don't forget, that's the issue here, is McCain testified at the hearing the first time. Oh, yeah. This kind of evidence, that I handle myself. That I don't need to do anything special and separate it or get it over to the AG's office fast. I can watch a video. I do that with the game cameras all the time. I've done that with other SD cards. And now they have the evidence that this agency hasn't taken in a game camera for 5 years and has only taken in one SD card. So whoever thought he was telling the truth, now you know. Now you know he's real good at lying. McCain's conduct and testimony show an intentional effort to conceal the evidence, its destruction, and its exculpatory value to deprive Spencer of it. The state cannot rely on policy mistake or lack of knowledge like the officers in Lewis and Clark's. McCain is a detective and was responsible for this investigation, including the evidence at the scene, yet neither he nor the state have offered any reasonable explanation for the multitude of successive instances of misconduct related to the dash camera. There is no evidence to support mere negligence or carelessness here that might explain a failure to strictly adhere to a policy or two, but it cannot excuse violations of policy from the first moment the dash camera was discovered through the entire year that followed. The failure to put the evidence in the evidence tracking system for a year is intentional. It is noticeable that the most noticeable that the most significant piece of evidence was not listed at all. Failing to note the seizure of the dash camera, review of it, and loss of it for a week might be a mistake, but for a year or more, and then entering as showing transferred out shortly after the shooting, and no mention anywhere of its manipulation or loss, is intentional concealment of wrongdoing. Testifying that it had no evidentiary value despite the impossibility of seeing such data and excusing the tampering by falsely suggesting it was routine are intentional and bad faith. If LCSO officials conduct in this case does not demonstrate bad faith, then it is essentially impossible for defendant to make a sufficient showing of bad faith, short of an officer saying, I'm going to violate this defendant's due process rights. This cannot be due process.
Word. I
Hey,
mean, it's
I'm
true.
doing it over here. I'm about to do some bad faith.
I'm about to fuck up this guy's due process
about to
over
just
here. Right over here.
Shove due process right up his arse.
You recording this so I can get this shit on video? I'm about to fuck this guy up. I mean, they're not wrong. I don't know if Aaron or Michael wrote this, but this is, to me, the clearest proof of bad faith, because you're just not going to get a smoking gun. You know, it's not going to happen. We don't have the access as defense attorneys to get in there and get this shit. You know, so you're always left having to put the pieces together to see what common sense says about a situation, how a normal cop would operate in a typical situation. And none of that took place here. I mean, the fact that they didn't create any kind of chain of custody for this thing for that period of time is insane.
It's crazy. So as to B, which you're about to read, babe, I think at the very least, I do think they should get a spoliation instruction, but I fear that's the best they like that's like, you know, usually it's like you get screwed, you don't even get your spoliation, but
right. I mean, 99% of the time, your case is not getting dismissed. You know, I'm just saying, I think that there's a bit of a perfect storm here.
I agree.
Or like, I'm not going to fall off my chair if it's dismissed.
Right.
I think everything is lined up in such a way that it's giving this judge who's been.
The fact that he's even rehearing this issue is a huge deal. Huge deal.
He's the diametric opposite of Elmore. You know, I mean, he's not playing dirty pool. Nope. He's doing what any judge you would hope would do on the bench. And, you know, I think because the way that Elmore was running it, God forbid Aaron got convicted, it was coming back. It was getting reversed and remanded. I mean, she fucked that case up so badly with her ridiculous ruling, starting from the very beginning when she gagged the case. I mean, the woman was unhinged. All right. So B, if the court declines to dismiss the charges based on due process violations, a spoliation or missing evidence instruction is warranted. So as Allie was saying, this is your fallback, right? So if you can't get the judge to dismiss, this is the best you're going to get if you're not going to get anything. Like, it's this. If the dismissal goes away, either get this or you get nothing. So the Arkansas Supreme Court has not foreclosed the possibility of a spoliation instruction in a criminal case. Thus far, Arkansas's jurisprudence on this issue is addressed in Court of Appeals decisions explaining why proffered instructions were not accurate statements of law. And then they cite an Arkansas case there from 2024. There is not a model spoliation instruction in the Arkansas model jury instructions, criminal, but the court may give a non-model instruction when it finds that the model instructions do not contain a needed instruction on the subject. So a party is entitled to instruction when it is a correct statement of the law and where there is some basis in the evidence to support the instruction. In Autry v. State, a 2005 case, the Court of Appeals said spoliation instruction is designed to remedy litigation misconduct, giving it would mean the state behaving improperly, and it would depend on whether the state was obligated to preserve the evidence or acted in bad faith. So, however, in Long v. State, the court explained that the proffered spoliation instruction in Autry, like that proffered in Long, failed to require a jury finding of bad faith to justify application of an adverse inference. So it's got a footnote here, a lengthy one. So while the Arkansas Supreme Court has not yet weighed in on this precise issue, other courts have employed varying thresholds for giving the instruction. So US v. Gaines, looks like a Maryland case, 2025, affirming spoliation instruction, discussing Johnson and Justice Stevens' concurrence in Youngblood, which articulated the importance of such instructions in appropriate circumstances. U.S. v. Johnson, 2021, noting that even absent due process violation, defendant may be entitled to an adverse inference instruction where a party loses or destroys relevant evidence, and there is a showing that the party knew the evidence was relevant to an issue at trial, and his willful conduct resulted in its loss or destruction. So what they're talking about, a willful inference, they're basically just saying, look, you're, as a jury, you're allowed to infer they were up to no good.
Yeah, but I mean, they're saying a lot of these cases are saying
No,
spoliation instruction requires evidence of intentional destruction and bad faith.
right.
You needed bad faith to get it dismissed in the first place.
I know. It's even, it seems as like it's as
Just as hard.
difficult
Yeah.
to get it dismissed. I mean, this is the kind of shit where they really, and it's indicative of the fact that they try to protect convictions in this country. It's not the other way around. The system is not built to overturn convictions. It's built the opposite, just to protect them and to wall them in and make it very difficult for us to be able to overturn a conviction.
All right. So you were at the Mississippi 2020 case.
Was it Moody or oh yeah. So, okay. Spoliation instruction requires evidence of intentional destruction and bad faith. And then Moody v. State, Texas case explaining bad faith is required to warrant spoliation instruction. State v. Irby, which looks like a Missouri case, spoliation instruction. May be given when destructive act is intentional and circumstances indicate fraud, deceit, or bad faith.
I mean, that's even worse.
Yeah. State v. Carey, a 2014 case, spoliation instruction warranted when a party in control of evidence intentionally destroyed it, and it would have been admissible at trial. Cost v. State, a Maryland case from 2010, finding spoliation instructions for criminal cases was better labeled as, quote, missing evidence instruction, and permitting instruction where the government had possession of the highly relevant evidence when lost or destroyed, and the evidence was the type normally documented and maintained by the government. And then in parentheticals, discussing varying standards employed by the states for spoliation instructions in this context. All right, so significantly, a long court complaint instruction would permit but not require the jury to find a due process violation, giving it would not, quote, mean the state behaved improperly, but would allow the jury to consider whether it did so. Thus, Spencer argues, if there is evidence from which a jury could find the evidence apparently exculpatory and without a comparable replacement, or potentially exculpatory but lost or destroyed in bad faith, the instruction should be given. Here, there is evidence of both apparently exculpatory value and bad faith, such that the jury should be so instructed. The numerous violations of policy and common sense, the concealment, and the great prejudice caused to Spencer by the loss or destruction of this crucial evidence demands at least the potential for a remedy. The actions by the LCSO, as outlined herein, constitute misconduct and certainly improper behavior, and evidence a lengthy pattern of it. Basic negligence or recklessness cannot explain the magnitude of the repeated policy violations and intentional manipulations, omissions, and efforts to ensure this evidence is not available at trial.
I just want to note here, I don't think there's anything that would prevent. So it's one thing when the judge says to the jury in its instructions, when you've heard evidence of a missing SD card, if you can assume that since it went missing when it was in the prosecution's control, that it would have been helpful to the defense. It means one thing coming from the judge, but there is nothing that prevents the defense from still arguing that. It's different than getting an instruction, at least I think. So
courts have been willing to depart from the strict bad faith requirement when the remedy is a missing evidence instruction rather than dismissal of charges, as was at issue in Youngblood. See Cost again, that Maryland case. Strictly employing the young blood test requires sanctions at times, even when there is no prejudice, but also limits relief when even negligent or reckless loss of evidence may critically prejudice the defendant. It also has the effect of encouraging destruction of evidence that then renders it only potentially useful since its contents are unprovable. And then you've got quoting State versus Delisle or Delisle and Thorne v. Department of Public Safety in 1989 case. So this leaves no remedy for defendants who are unable to prove bad faith but suffer the loss or destruction of evidence that is so critical to the defense to make the trial fundamentally unfair. So Spencer has attached two proposed spoliation instructions. The first instructs the jury on the Trombetta and Youngblood standards as discussed in Autry and Long. The instruction represents the most stringent standard possible for the jury to impose an adverse inference. It requires findings of apparent exculpatory value or bad faith. Spencer also proffers a second proposed spoliation instruction representing a compilation of the instructions employed by other states. So Spencer asserts that when the Arkansas Supreme Court ultimately decides this issue, it should consider fashioning an evidentiary instruction under state law that does not impose the Youngblood standard where the loss of evidence is intentional and avoidable and or contrary to the duties or responsibilities of the party who caused the loss, and the evidence is material and or exculpatory. At this stage, Spencer asks for either instruction with any variation as bracketed in the proffered instructions. Holding to the strictest interpretation of the Arkansas Court of Appeals cases, this court would give the instruction in Exhibit 15. So wherefore, the defendant Aaron Spencer asks this court to grant him relief as requested herein and for any other relief the court finds appropriate. So I think that those instructions were not attached, so we're not seeing the exhibits, but I'll be curious to read them, and it shows as to what you were saying, babe. I mean, Aaron is more than aware that the likelihood of it getting dismissed is slim, even with the perfect storm scenario. So, that's why obviously they went to the lengths of crafting and drafting a couple of proposed non-model instructions to which the judge could say, all right, well, because I think that helps.
Right.
If they do that, to put it out there, put it in front of the judge so that the judge isn't like, well, who's going to draft it? Obviously, the state is going to have the opportunity to look at it and be like, well, we have some changes.
Yeah. And, Megastar says, don't worry, Bob. I thought Memorial Day was last weekend. Oops.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I just always thought it was at the end of the month. You'd think.
Passion Sugar says, hey, Allie and Bob, I vote for a call-in. Did they meet the thingamajig? The goal?
No, I don't think so. We got some Venmos, though.
Mm.
Oh, honey, are you okay? Went down.
I was just going to say our Angel Kim might have saved them. Get them over
we
the hump.
We got a few Venmos. I'll get to them, though.
All right. So,
Frisvold.
Thank you for your generosity.
Thank you, Frizz.
Venus Blue Cupcake. Oh, another cupcake. Saving money for tomorrow. I will definitely support. Thank you. Sweet. So, we're not going to hold the people to that strict goal because they are. They're saving their money for tomorrow.
100%.
So we're gonna pretend you met the goal.
100%.
Thank you, Venus. You're right. Decline. I am not always in chat because of work, but you guys are always in my ear. Love you both. Thanks, Decline.
Be back, Decline.
Lindsay Bay
Decline
says,
came in twice, just so you know.
All right. Thank you.
Love you both.
Whoop.
Oop.
Okay. Lindsay Bay says, be there or be square. Of course, Yanetti's the time slot. The barbecue starts. The only plan this weekend. Ugh. I wonder if they will notice my Meta glasses. LOL. Proud of you, DD. Great stuff. Well, thank you for your
Thanks,
generosity.
Lindsay. We appreciate it.
Why not all of the options?
So Pammy's talking about the bingo, the call-ins. I mean,
It's all you get them all. You
push.
get an option. You get an option. You all get an option.
Everybody's getting
Everybody's getting an option. We'll do it. We'll do it. We got 12 hours.
12 glorious hours.
Love you guys. You keep me entertained whilst working the night shift in the UK. Looking forward to your 12-hour marathon tomorrow. Is that the kiss or the hug? Always. No, I want to say the hug because it's like an X, but I think it's actually.
I think
it should be, and the kiss should be
the O.
You know,
yeah. I agree. I agree.
Let us know in the chat.
My
Does anyone know for sure? And thanks for your generosity.
Yes.
Luke, Aaron speaks for every parent around the world. Thank you for your generosity.
Truth.
And Cigarette Hush gifted 10 Defense Diary memberships. Thank you for your generosity.
Thanks, Hush.
Shane Pickle. Thank you guys for being wonderful.
Shan Pickle.
Shan Pickle. Oh, Shan Pickle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes. Thank us for being wonderful. And thank you. Shan Pickle. Yeah, what is that from? You always say that.
I'm trying to remember. Shan Pickle. I don't know. That don't come to me.
Okay. You read it.
Fadius
Padius. Yeah, well, I think
everyone involved
in
this case should be jailed.
Yes.
I mean,
I concur. Fadius.
Or at the very least voted out of office. Thank you.
I mean, I guess that's a little bit more likely, but we know what you're saying. We get your point.
Oh, let's keep pressing the same thing at the same time. Jack Rocks gifted 5 DD podcast memberships. Thank you, Jack Rocks. And family hugs to all the gifted DB membership beneficiaries. Thank you. Iceman cometh. What up, Doe?
Yeah, what up, Doe?
What up, Doe? Thanks, Iceman.
Thanks for your generosity.
Brian, the lovely and talented, gifted 5 DD podcast memberships. Thanks, Brian. Love you. Frizz, member 4 months. Family hug. Thanks for being a member. We appreciate that.
Classic Overthinker coming in at 13 months.
The good old 1984 civil suit against Staley in the sheriff's office.
I guess
the 1983 claim.
I thought they were saying like your whole thing about the corrupted, that they have some history of corruption back there.
I don't know. Is there a 1984 civil suit against Staley in the sheriff's office?
I mean, sounds that way.
I don't know. Or does she mean a 1983 civil? I don't know. Could be either way. Could go either way. Blessed Texas Lolly member for 12 months, a full year. DD was my first
anniversary.
YouTube membership. Love you guys.
Happy anniversary. And thank you for the continued support.
Yes. All right. We're not going to play around. We're getting off immediately.
Wait, what about the people on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Damn it. I was almost off, babe. Yeah. So today, Sherry Rains, delightful. Paid us $10 for all of our hard work. Thank you, Sherry. I think she goes by Cherie on here. I think I just fucking doxed her, of course. Kim, our angel, $25. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Jessica, we appreciate you so much. Paid you $25 for this Aaron Spencer fundraiser. Now, I want to make this clear today, and I'll make it abundantly clear tomorrow. So I've got this particular.
We're gonna have supers off tomorrow.
Layout. Supers are off tomorrow. That QR code goes directly to the fund that Heather Spencer has created. That's active. It's been active for a year. So do not send us money. Send all the money gets donated to that QR code. Additionally, in the description for the show, we've got the link in there. Our mods will be dropping the link throughout the chat through the entire 12 hours. So just so you guys know, this money's going straight to the Spencers. Like it's
not crossing our path.
Not crossing our path. We're going to keep track of it. We're setting a very hefty goal.
But I just want to circle back to the person that just sent, because it seemed like it was for the fundraiser. Whatever we donate, we'll put an extra $25 towards it. because that person might have been trying to donate it.
Yeah, it could have been.
So an extra $25 from us. We'll do it in
Yeah.
your name.
Yes. All right.
Anything else?
I think Blessed came back. Love Bob and Allie the mostest. I might not always comment, but I'm always here. Thanks for always bringing the best. Thank you for being so generous and supporting the channel. We appreciate that. And Lori Jane, member for 3 months. We love that. We love that so much. The delightful Anne came through with a last minute $10 Venmo. Ready to open the wallet tomorrow. Let's go. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, you guys, mods, we love you so very much. And hopefully you guys can hang with us in shifts tomorrow during a holiday weekend. We know it's a big ask and we're super appreciative. Tracy, we love you so very much. Thank you for everything that you do every day for us. We adore you. And to you guys out there who we just absolutely adore, we would not be a channel without you guys. I'd just be some old man. My wife left me on the tagline. I don't know. So I'm going to have to go it alone, kids. I'm going to have to go it alone. Without you guys, I'd just be an old man talking about a whole lot of cases. See you guys tomorrow.